It was an ordinary afternoon in the heart of the city. The streets were alive with activity, people hurrying to appointments, children chatting on their way home from school, and cars crawling through the heavy traffic. Among all this chaos, bus number 34 pulled into one of its regular stops, the doors hissing open to let passengers in and out. For the driver, it was just another stop in his long day of work. But something unusual caught his eye, a lone dog standing near the curb, looking restless and anxious. The dog wasn't just idly standing there. It was pacing back and forth, its head darting in all directions, as if searching for something, or someone. It looked at the bus, then at the driver, and barked. At first, the driver thought nothing of it. Stray dogs weren't an uncommon sight in the city. But this one was different. There was an urgency in its behavior, a kind of determination that made the driver pause. Before the driver could process what was happening, the dog hopped onto the bus. The passengers, startled, turned their heads. A few gasps filled the air. It wasn't every day a dog boarded public transport. But this wasn't a playful or random act. The dog seemed focused. It trotted down the aisle, looking at each passenger, its tail wagging nervously, letting out soft but urgent barks. It was as if it was trying to say, "Help me. Follow me." The atmosphere in the bus quickly shifted. Some passengers moved back, unsure of what the dog might do. Others leaned forward, intrigued by its behavior. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "Is it lost?" someone asked. "Maybe it's looking for its owner," another suggested. A child tried to reach out to pet the dog, but its focus remained unbroken. The driver finally stood up, curiosity and concern written all over his face. "Hey there, buddy," the driver said gently, crouching down to meet the dog's eyes. "What's going on? Are you lost?" The dog barked in response, its body language practically begging him to follow. It trotted to the door, paused, and barked again, looking back at the driver as if saying, "Come with me. Please." The driver hesitated. Should he ignore it and stick to his schedule? Or should he follow this strange but insistent call for help? Finally, his gut feeling took over. "Hold on, folks," he said to the passengers. "I think this dog needs something. I'm going to check it out." A few passengers, curious and concerned, decided to join him. Together, they stepped off the bus and followed the dog. The air was thick with anticipation. What could this dog possibly want? The dog moved with purpose, weaving through the crowded street. It occasionally looked back, making sure the group was still following. "It's like it knows exactly where it's going," one passenger murmured. The group followed the dog through a narrow alley, their initial confusion slowly giving way to a sense of urgency. Whatever was at the end of this journey, it felt important. Finally, the dog stopped in front of a small, secluded corner of the alley. There, lying motionless on the ground, was a man. His breathing was shallow, and his face was pale. The sight was shocking. "Oh my God, is he okay?" one passenger exclaimed. The dog barked furiously, circling the man and nudging him gently with its nose. It was clear now, this dog wasn't just looking for help. It had brought them to save its owner. The driver quickly pulled out his phone and called emergency services. "We've got a man unconscious in an alley," he told the operator. "We need an ambulance right away." Meanwhile, the passengers did what they could. One checked for a pulse. Another removed their jacket to cover the man and keep him warm. The dog stayed close, its earlier panic now replaced with quiet, watchful concern. It seemed to understand that help was finally on the way. Within minutes, the sound of sirens filled the air. Paramedics arrived and quickly assessed the man's condition. "He's lucky," one of them said. "It looks like he collapsed from exhaustion and dehydration. If help hadn't come when it did, things could have been much worse." The dog sat nearby, its eyes fixed on its owner, as if unwilling to leave his side. As the ambulance drove away, the passengers couldn't stop talking about what had just happened. "I've never seen anything like it," one woman said. That dog is a hero. Another added, they say dogs are man's best friend, but this one went above and beyond. The driver nodded in agreement. I'll never forget this day, he said. That dog knew exactly what it was doing. A few days later, the story reached the local news. The man had fully recovered, thanks to his loyal dog's quick thinking. In an interview, he shared how his dog, Max, had always been by his side through thick and thin. I don't know how he knew to find help, the man said, choking back tears. But I owe him my life. This incredible story of loyalty and intelligence reminds us of the profound bond between humans and animals. Max's actions weren't just an act of instinct, they were an act of love. In a world where help can sometimes feel far away, this dog showed us that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes they walk on four legs. So the next time you see a dog acting out of the ordinary, take a moment to pay attention. You never know, it might be trying to lead you to something that could change a life.